Yep, so welcome back. We haven't done this in about a few days, but I know I did promise that I was going to put up this video a few days ago. But after I put up the Eguavon team final team talk video, I felt maybe just give that a little room to breathe before I come up with something else. And that's why, I thought give it a couple of days, see how that video does. And thank you guys for going in the looking through that video, liking it, and dropping comments, some phenomenal comments there. I know I've responded to some. I'll definitely go back and respond to all of the other ones. But I'm trying to keep this time box to not more than 15 minutes, so I'm going to dive right into it. Eguavon or Peseiro, and what is the situation right now? So I'll start with the situation. I know a lot of people ask the question of, and I also asked the question of why Jose Peseiro was not in Cameroon, despite the NFF president saying that he would be in Cameroon to observe and then take over after the World Cup. So the thing is, look, the situation is a bit, not complicated, but it's just not, um, the way it should be. And I'll try and explain it a bit more just so we get into the details. So now what happened was, as we all know, after Gennett Raw was fired, the NFF put Austin Eguavon as interim coach and then went on to announce that they would be appointing Jose Peseiro as the substantive coach for the Super Eagles. Of course, he didn't have time to come in, prep the team, and take them to Afcon because he will probably only have like what less than a week. And I think Eguavon stated it obviously when I was speaking to him. I think I'm also going to put that video up so you guys can get a feel of what Eguavon said. He said he only had started full training the day after they arrived in Cameroon. I'll try and get that video up so you can actually listen to him and what he said from the horse's mouth. So they only had full training after they got on the 6th when they got to Cameroon. So that gave him just 5 days because they had to play on the 11th. So that only gave them 5 days, 4 days actually, because you have to look at 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So yeah, okay, well, 5 days of training before they actually had to go and face Egypt. Now, Eguavon had the advantage of having been technical director, having been at close quarters observing Raw, and also sort of getting technical reports, watching the team train, watching their game. So he was in a position to make maximum use of those 4 days. So almost like as if we had the same kind of coaching crew with just a little difference in ideas. Because hey, come to think of it, the assistants were all the same. The only change there was Eguavon coming in as head coach. Otherwise, Salisu was there, Yobo was there, Aloy was there, and so it was seamless. Now, Peseiro, if he had come in, wouldn't have had the same benefit of knowing this team so intimately enough to use 1 week and do much with them. So it was a good idea. Now, the plan was to have Peseiro come to Afcon, watch and observe Eguavon closely, so that after the Afcon, he could take over and then manage the team for the World Cup qualifiers and then hopefully beyond. Now, but there was a snag. Based on what I understand, a contract had been agreed on with Peseiro, and he was supposed to come over, sign it, and then head over to Cameroon. But just before he was to sign the contract, or to come and sign the contract, a small glitch happened. One of his people, lawyers, whatever, came on and wanted to add some additional details to the contract. For instance, I think the original agreement was he would work with the Nigeria assistant, but now he wanted to add some additional assistance to his team outside of the Nigerian assistants. And then he wanted, because he was doing that, also wanted to have a little bit more money added to his pay so he could take care of those assistants. Now, this is stuff I'm getting sort of like off the record, so I can't confirm the actual veracity of it, but this is what I've been told. So at that point, with all those changes, last minute changes coming in, the NFF were not going to budge because they'd had the same issue with Gennett Raw of bringing assistants and paying them and all that and so on. So they told him, well, more or less, it wasn't going to happen. So because of those changes, that's why Peseiro was not in Cameroon to watch the Super Eagles. And that kind of snowballed because for the fact that he was not in Cameroon to observe the team, then and at least work closely, look at the players from close range, see how they play and work, it became difficult to have him now come in and take over, for the World Cup qualifiers, which is the entire point of sacking Enoch Raw. Because, to be honest, for the NFF, it was not about the Afcon. Firing Raw was not about the Afcon. The NFL had already more or less said, you know what, we go to Afcon, we can take an L. So it was a bit of a surprise. I think Gavon surprised them by having the team do so well. But the NFL were prepared to take this L at the Afcon in order to prepare well for the World Cup qualifiers. But now the man who is supposed to be the one to prepare the team for that World Cup qualifiers was not there to have the benefit of those 3-ish weeks to have enough close contact with the team. So now the dilemma is, do you still bring him to come and have maybe less than 1 week? Because let's not forget that during the World Cup qualifiers, even though they'll be on the FIFA window, he won't have more than say 4 days to train the team before the first leg in Accra, in Cape Coast, not Accra, and then after that come back and prepare the team again a couple of days more for the second leg in Abuja. Oh, and by the way, yeah, it's going to be in Abuja. I think if you guys have been following my Twitter feed, you'd have seen me posted that the first leg is going to be played at the Cape Coast Sports Stadium in Cape Coast in Ghana, and then the second leg will be played at the National Stadium, Moshood Abiola National Stadium in Abuja. So there's that. Not surprised that you've seen it on my Twitter feed. So based on those, it's kind of hard to think now that Jose Peseiro will be in charge of the Super Eagles for those games. So I think maybe it'll just be to say, okay, guys, you know what? Prepare your mind. Austin Eguavoen is going to be the man who takes Nigeria, who manages Nigeria for those 2 crucial games. And look, we might criticize the mistakes in quote that he made against Tunisia, but the point is that you have to think he's learned from it, because if you look at the game, we're getting killed in the central areas because those guys had studied our team and then made sure they compressed the white spaces where our wingers were operating, which was where our strongest areas were, and we're getting dominated in the central areas. Now, maybe Govon could have made the changes earlier, but it doesn't matter. He did make the changes necessary, which was bring in an extra body in midfield, which was Alex Iwobi. And if Alex Iwobi, when he came on, had not got that red card, he was already taking control of that central areas, and then would have had the freedom to play on both sides, both centrally and wide. And I mean, when you look at the chances we created against Tunisia, even with 10 men, you've got to think that team could have won that game with 11. So, Iwobi will not be available for the first leg, but he certainly will be available for the second leg, and I think that's a good thing. Ghana is going to be a difficult game. West African derbies generally are always difficult, but I think we should be enough. Man for man, the Super Eagles are a much stronger team than Ghana, and when you look at the players who were missing, you've got to think that when they come back, we'll definitely be much stronger. And we can win the game. So I think that just based off what Eguavoen has shown at the Afcon and the quality of players we have, I think Nigeria going into this one definitely as favorites. And hopefully, if they keep that attitude that they had at the Afcon, then we should be able to win those games without a problem. I see I'm getting close to my time box, so I'm going to take. I know I had some questions that came in on Twitter, so just give me a second. Let me just look through them. Enoho Emerge say, why is the NFF trying to draft in Amunike as support despite the consortium of coaches assisting Eguavoen? Isn't that a giveaway that Eguavoen isn't fit for the job? Well, I'm not quite sure where that is coming from. There's been no official report that the NFF wants to bring in Eguavoen. But in any case, bring in Amunike, I beg your pardon. In any case, I mean, Amunike coming in would not be bad for the team. What happened, and if you see with this team, is that what they've had is more or less like not a huge, but everybody has a say, but Eguavon has the final say. So even if Amunike comes in, Eguavon will still have the final say. But I don't think that's going to happen. If Amunike is coming, he's going to come in as head coach by himself. Ikechukwu Aikunwabuko says, who do you think is the best man for the Eagles at this time heading into the playoffs, Eguavon or Jose? And two, if you were to advise the FA, which venue would you pick for the Eagles Black Stars clash in March and why? Okay, so the best man for the job, I would say right now, is Eguavon. We've seen what he's done in what he did in Cameroon, and it was a phenomenal job. So I do think that he can continue. I mean, you don't take a team to an Afcon, turn things around so quickly, and then you're a bad coach all of a sudden. And if there were any mistakes that he supposedly made, like I said, earlier, we could see that he did try to fix it. Unfortunately, you can't legislate for a player getting a rush of blood and getting a red card. So I think I'd go with Eguavon at this time. Say if you were to advise the FA. Oh yeah, well, the venue has been picked already. It's the Abuja National Stadium. So the problem with that stadium is that, look, you're not going to fill it. And that's an issue. You're not going to fill that stadium, so you don't have the same kind of atmosphere you'd have in a smaller stadium like maybe Lagos or Asaba or even Uyo, which is big. To be honest, if given a choice, I would take Uyo all day, every day. Unfortunately, that option is not on the table, and Abuja has been chosen. It's not going to be changed. You need at least 3 months to inform FIFA that you want to change your venue, and the Abuja National Stadium has been confirmed, so that's where it's going to be. Ikechukwu, Nali, you want to ask all the question. Say, apart from Osimhen, which other player who was absent in the Afcon would you consider a positive addition to the team in March, and why? Okay, you've mentioned Osimhen, so I'm not going to mention that again. I would say Etebo. Etebo's all-action ability is something that cannot be taken for granted. That his box-to-box movement, his energy, his power, and I mean, he's not going to come in and just slide Aribo off the team. He's going to have to work for his meal, but I think that having Etebo back is going to be a huge plus for Nigeria. And Leon Balogun, of course, I think is a player that we need. The defense held very firm in at the Afcon. We only considered 2 goals, and of those 2 goals, we only considered 1 in open play. That's a remarkable achievement for a back four. So I think they did exceptionally well. It's going to be hard. Maybe if I was going to add one other player, I might think Cyril Dessers, but I think the front line, when you add Osimhen and possibly Odion Igalo for his experience, maybe that rules out Dessers, because if you're going to bring Odion Igalo, you leave Dessers out. But I would say Odion Igalo up front. In midfield, you have Etebo coming back in, and in defense, Leon Balogun returning. That just gives us a whole completely different outlook entirely. I think I'll take one more question. Foundational engineer James Art says, what next for the Super Eagles? Which coach will prosecute the World Cup qualifier playoffs? I think I just answered the question. In this whole video was about answering that question, which is Eguavon should be the man to take the team to the World Cup qualifier, to lead the team through the World Cup qualifiers. And if they qualify, I don't think there's any point in bringing another coach. Let him take the team to the World Cup, because at the end of the day, if you qualify the team for the World Cup, then let him do the job. There's no point in bringing someone who will now be a mercenary to come take the team to the World Cup. So yeah, I think I'm just about done with today's video. I hope I covered all the questions. I'm going to have another one hopefully coming in at the end of the week, and then but feel free, if you want any question asked, please feel free to drop it on my Twitter handle, and I'll be sure to answer it. And so congratulations to Senegal for making it to the final of the Afcon, beating Burkina Faso 3-1. Is their 3rd final. First time 2002, they lost on PKs to Cameroon. 2nd time was in 2019, they lost to Algeria. 3rd time, are they going to be lucky? Right now, I don't know who they're going to meet. We'll probably see that after this video is uploaded, but I have a feeling that it might be Egypt. But whichever way, I think this is Senegal's year, and I think they just might be champions this year. And Sadio Mane is definitely player of the tournament for me, irrespective of how many goals other people have scored. I think Sadio Mane has single-handedly dragged these guys, Senegal, to where they are, and he's definitely my player of the tournament. So I'll see you guys. Thank you for watching, and please hit that subscribe button and make sure you look out for new videos on this on my channel all the time. And follow me, share it, bring a friend to come watch with you. The more I get this, the more I can do more. Thank you very much. See you guys.